Hello everyone and welcome to another All Will Be One traditional draft. We have a pretty decent rare here. I think this was bugged at some point, at least I recall seeing several um, mentions, mostly in Reddit, that this somehow didn't destroy the targeted permanent. I hope it's fixed. I don't recall seeing it in patch notes though, but I mean, this is just gonna have to be the first pick here because 5 mana 5/5 first strike is pretty good, creature. You basically can't attack into it, and then of course he is a very good attacker. Now discarding a card each upkeep is of course a huge cost, but you can discard lands you don't need, and of course you can also turn the cards into removal spells if you discard some spells. So yeah, it's gonna be the pick here. The other good options here are Infectious Bite. Out of the commons, nothing is really that amazing. Not really any common that I would be happy to first pick, but I would be happy to first pick the Infectious Bite. I think it's still very easy Masticore here, regardless. Now here the rare is just a land. Uncommons, well, Tainted Observer it would be good if you are exactly blue-green, not the easiest color combination to draft because it really requires the colors to be open. You can't just force blue-green, I don't think, because blue has this kind of stuff, which is very good in the blue-white artifact deck, but very useless in for example blue-green, which won't have a lot of artifacts because green I don't think has any. Yeah, so the pick is just a Volt Charge. It is the best card in the pack, so let's take it here. Mycosynth Gardens. This only becomes a copy of an artifact. Yeah, not a non. I mean, not any permanent. It has to be an artifact, so it's of course not that amazing. I mean, it's going to be good in the blue-white deck and maybe some red decks that have a bunch of equipment. Also, if you make this into a copy of an equipment, it doesn't matter. For mirroring won't be triggered because this is not entering the battlefield when it copies something, so you don't get the 2/2 token. Alright, so I'm not taking the red card. The Immobilizer is quite good. Predation, fine-ish. I mean, it's a good card. It's better than an average common, but I think I'll take the Immobilizer, which I consider a better card. Okay, churning reservoir. Now, if I would go for some kind of oil business, this would be good. And of course, it does energize with the immobilizer already. This adds to any artifact or creature, as long as it's a non-token one. Well, this pack is rather weak, in fact. The Glider can be good in some decks. The Injector is it really depends on the deck. Sometimes the +2 toughness can matter a lot. Sometimes it doesn't matter. You're mostly interested in power. It is very cheap to play and equip, of course. But yeah, I think I'll take the reservoir because it just works very well with the immobilizer. It can be a card that's not going to even be in the main deck in the end, but this pack is fairly weak, so I can take the card that at least has potential to be quite good. Alright, well, I have 2 green cards that work with the oil stuff. I would take the troll, of course, over the steward. There is also the mesmerizing dose. Now I think it would be an easy pick if the dose wasn't here. So now it's the question of do I wanna kind of follow the immobilizer here and take the blue card, or just take the troll, which is amazing in decks that have oil, and the red green oil is probably the best archetype in the set. When that's open enough, that can be a very strong deck. I think that I take the troll now. It works well with the churning reservoir deck. I mean, it goes to the same deck than the reservoir, and of course the Volt Charge is just a good card. So I would prefer to be red here if I can. And this pack, well, it doesn't have really much blue either. This would be a very nice pack for a blue-white artifact drafter because there's a Chrome Prowler, a Lookout, and also the Helm, which works in that deck because it is an artifact. Bladed Onslaught could be considered in that deck too, but none of these matter now. I think I'll take the Blazing Crescendo because it's a decent red card. You can play it in most red decks. Let's take it. Okay, there's a Rot Priest. Okay, I mean this is the best card in the pack by far. This is actually first pickable. It's in the pick 7, so no one is black-green, I suppose. Now the sad thing is that I don't have any black either, and this doesn't actually work so well in the Rot Priest deck, so... should I take the experimental augury or free from flesh? Do I have a dream about being a red-green oil? I could take the augury, which works with the immobilizer, of course. This works in oil deck. I don't know. I guess I'll just take the free from flesh. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be at least red here. I have no idea about my second color, although this pack may be... I don't know if I was supposed to think about being red-white earlier, because that was actually an option I should have considered, but I didn't. When I saw the pack that had a lookout, I could have actually taken the lookout from there and thinking that I might be a red-white. Well, I'm taking the lookout now. I think I will taking over the charge of the mites now. Yeah, this is a really weak pack. The Testament Bearer is actually okay, but like I said, I don't have any black, so I don't really want to start by picking a fairly replaceable 4-drop. I'm actually missing out on the second lookout, but I don't know, did I take a Blazing Crescendo over it? But I would actually prefer to have 2 lookouts. Now, here it is just going to be, I guess, the... Well, let's try to make the Bladed Onslaught work. I don't really like that too much, but if you have enough cheap creatures, it can work, I guess. Eye of Malcator. Now, I'm not going to take the Kinsmith. There are some black, I'm mostly the Whisper of the Dross, which is fine. Canopy is a good sideboard card, but I have only one. Green wasn't open enough. I take the Malcator because it's possible that blue is, quite open here, and well, I guess I'd take another one. I don't know how it's gonna end up, but this is just an unplayable card if you don't have mostly artifacts, but hey, these were late picks, they were pretty free there. Don't think I care about the Atlas. If I'm gonna play some kind of blue deck, I might play the Curator. Sideboard card, the card I don't really think about playing, but I think I'll take the Misstep. Okay, Kinsmith. Alright, so, okay, there's a Bladehold War Whip. Alright. Well, it's the best card in the pack. I do like the Troller Drake, of course, but it's not as good as the War Whip. If I just had the second lookout, I would be a little bit happier. I'm mostly, disappointed about me not even considering that white-red could be a lane to take, and I should have taken the lookout over the, probably worst card I picked from the pack. I just didn't see it there, but I'm gonna take the War Whip now, and let's see if white-red can be a thing. Okay, there's a good green card, but there's also Volt Charge. I can stick to my idea here now still. Yeah, with only one Oil Gorget roll, I don't think I really should focus on the green card now. I'll just take the Volt Charge and hope that... Well, at least I will be red, most likely. Okay, well, there's still an Infectious Bite here. Now, I could be red-green oil regardless. I mean, if I want to take a red or white card, it would be one of these artifacts, the equipment here. I like the 4-mana thing more. But I could still move to red-green and take the Infectious Bite here, hoping to get this Steward back when the pack comes back. That's the... I mean, it's either this or this. That's it. Freak. I'm gonna take the Splitter here. Hopefully I get some great white card now, and at least I don't get anything great green. But I actually do. I mean, the Rustvine Cultivator would be just a very good card in the red-green oil deck had I gone that route. The Raptor is good in most white decks, but not in ones where you don't really get any toxic creatures. It's just a 3-mana 2/2. Now there is also the Serum Core Chimera, which is a possibility, but these blue cards, they don't really work in this deck. I have too many non-artifacts. I could just take the Engraver, or I just could take the Cultivator as well. The Mirambard is, can work in the red-white deck too. I'm still taking the Engraver. I think I'm not taking the blue-red uncommon. Okay. Duelist of Deep Fate. I need a 2-drop. Yeah, it's an easy pick now. And there's no green in here that worth, you know. Well, I would take this for sideboard, but yeah, the Duelist of Deep Fate is actually quite nice. So let's take this, and this is going to be a red-white deck, I'm pretty sure now. Okay, so I would like to have the Shepherd, but I think the Battlefist is more necessary now because of such a low amount of 2-drops I have. So let's take the 2-drop. I'm gonna cut now the blue and the green. So this was one of those drafts where it's not really clear what's gonna be open, but oh, and this pack doesn't really help me much. I guess this is 13 cards, so I have enough playables. I have 3 equipment, so I'm actually having 7 creatures because the equipment have 4 Mirrodin. I mean, I'm gonna take this. I don't like the Mirror Custodian enough. I take the land here. Okay, complete. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Bardish now. Fine. And well, definitely didn't get any red here late in the pack. Well, Vigilance, if I have, how many artifacts that is? It is 7. I guess this can have a, I'm sorry, this has always Vigilance, but it can be. Okay, I'm gonna take it. It's possible I'm gonna have it as a 4/4 often enough. I suppose I take now the Mirror Custodian if I want to up my artifact count, but I would prefer to have pretty much anything else than this guy as a 3-drop. And Atlas not gonna play that. I'll just take 20 gems here. There's no... I mean, I could take the fish here. I still think to go to red blue, but I think I have to now stick to this idea. So I really basically had a lot of color combinations in mind in this draft, except for anything that involves black. But I think the red-white is now... Yeah, the only thing I'm missing is the second lookout, actually. I would like it a little bit more. Oh, someone is gonna get the last pick edifice. This is actually quite nice when you have a bunch of equipment, and I do have 4 currently. But I mean, that edifice last pick that's really ridiculous. Alright, well, something, some very nice payoff for green here. Alright. So, what do I take here? There's a Furnace Strider, but I have a 5-drop already. Actually, I have 2 with the Bardish. This I might play. I'm not sure if I need to have a lot of cheap creatures to make this worth playing. Not taking another Enforcer. Do I want to have just a random flyer? I mean, I guess you can play a 3-mana 2/2 flyer in decks like this. It's not the worst idea. 7. I have 11 creatures here now, basically, counting the 4 Mirrodin equipment. I'm thinking about the Flesh Cutter too. It's another artifact for the Enforcer. It makes me have artifacts. I'm actually willing to try it now. It's not really a card I'm happy to first pick, but it's very good with this Lookout, for instance. Again, if I had 2 of these, I would be happier. Okay, well, I get now a pretty decent 3-drop. Now, there are 2 2-drops. I suppose I hope one of these comes back to me in pick number 10, because I really do need 2-drops. But this is such a fantastic 3-drop. I'm not going to pass it. Okay, then there is a Basilica Shepherd here. There's a Hazardous Blast. I don't like having so many 5-drops, but maybe I should take this thing. Another edifice. How many edifices? I guess I saw the one edifice twice. I'm still... I still can remember that I actually passed someone this thing as the last pick in the pack. Alright. So, don't really think I like this thing, and I want to take something that gives me creatures. So let's take the 5-drop here, but not anything more that expensive. I only want to have some cheap things. So usually I might just take the Jimmy Rabble over the Slinger because the Slinger is better. But it's just more important to have early plays here. So I'll take the Slinger now. And okay, Mandible Justiciar is good enough. I have, actually a pretty nice amount of artifacts, so I get the occasional trigger for this thing. So, and it's a 2-drop, so I'm actually quite happy to have it here. And another Bodies, no thanks. Terramorphic Expanse, Hazardous Blast. I guess I really like the mana fixing of the Expanse, and I have passed already one, but Hazardous Blast can be really good. Yeah, I'll take the Blast. And anything cheap. I don't need the skull bomb. I'll take just the, another 3-drop creature. That's also an artifact. I might actually play the Enforcer. If this is over half of the time a 4 mana vigilance creature, it's actually quite nice. The thing about this card is mostly that it's not an artifact itself, and it really wants to have a lot of artifacts, so it's not so easy to make it work necessarily, but well, I suppose it's not that hard either. Alright, so the Chorus versus Reunited thing. I have a couple of pump spells here. Let's just take the creature here. Also another thing that's actually quite nice with the Flesh Cutter. And okay, I'm gonna take another 4-drop because I really don't want to take another 5. I already took the Basilica Shepherd in this pack too. I'll take the Enforcer. Let's try to make it work. I mean, this is now 12 artifacts. If I don't cut the Custodian, well, really, it really depends on how my mana curve is gonna look like. Okay, another 2-drop, which is also an artifact for the Enforcers here. So let's take that. I got a Complete Devotion, which is not gonna be very good. I think, well, few toxic creatures. There's the Chorus and there's the Duelist here, and of course, some ways to make those mites. Okay. And that is gonna be the end of the draft portion of the video. Let's see what's the final card. Well, basically playable, but I'm not sure I'm gonna play 2 of those with the amount of 5-drops I have. Okay, let's make some easy cuts if there are any. Yeah, Complete Devotion is not so necessary. I have a Crescendo and Free from Flesh, which I am more interested, mostly because, well, this can actually be a 2-for-1, and this thing is just 1 mana versus 2 mana. I don't think the oil matters here for this deck really at all. In fact, well, I guess there is an Axiom Engraver here. Okay, so the Mere Custodian is the only reason to run it would be to play it because I have a couple of these Enforcers here. 15 artifacts. Well, that's almost. Well, I'm gonna maybe let's cut the 5-drops. First of all, I don't think the Plated Onslaught should be played, not at least in the main deck. Maybe I bring it in or something like that. Now, question is, yeah, I should cut one of the bodies. These 3 5-drops is the most I'm gonna run here. How about main deck Hazardous Blast? Not sure if I want to run it in the main deck. Churning Reservoir, but they should have gone already ages ago. This has no synergy in the deck. Well, other than putting oil on the Engraver, and of course this can just be an engine to create 1/1s. You can put oil counters on any non-token creature, and when they die you can activate this, but it's really too much work for what it does. You really want to benefit from the oil counters to make this card actually playable. Basilica Skullbomb. Don't think it's really necessary here. About the creature curve. Type creature or for Mirrodin, I guess this should work. So these are effectively the creature curve, the creatures for me. So this shows 14, but it's actually a lot more than that. I think it's 19 because I do have 5. I have 6 equipment, but one of them is the Flesh Cutter, which doesn't give me. I mean, it can give me creatures, but it doesn't give it as an ETB. Alright, so I can cut some creatures here actually. So the Mere Custodian would be the first one to go. Let's see the Lightbringer. So I have a Barbed Batterfist. It's basically gonna be +2/+0 because it's -1 toughness from the Batterfist. So this would be a 5/2. Not really great. It's very easy to trade with. But with Flesh Cutter, it's gonna be a 5/3. Still not too amazing. With this, it's gonna be a 6/3. With bodies, it's gonna be at least 6/4. But I'm not sure if that's such a great thing. With this, actually, it's the best with the helm because it's gonna be a 4/4 with the helm. So yeah, that's a nice combination. And of course, the War Whip is just, well, 4/3 double striker would be fantastic. Yeah, I guess the Lightbringer is good enough. Now, maybe I can cut the Custodian, because this is in the end. Well, I have cut some artifacts though. It's 12 artifacts, but let's not forget that this thing can create me an artifact. And so does the Sephirot here. And this can create more artifacts. The Custodian also triggers the Justiciar. Well, I'm gonna cut, of course, a number of cards here. I just don't know. I'm also thinking that is the Hazardous Blast a main deck card here? I also feel like maybe I should actually cut the bodies, because I don't have the 3 mana red common creatures that make my equipment cheaper to cast. Would this be a 16 land deck? With the amount of 5s and 4s I have here, I maybe don't want to have it. I think it's a 17 land deck. I just have to find the cards now. I was thinking about the Lightbringer, Mir Custodian, Miran bodies. I think I will have to cut 2 of those. Maybe the main deck Hazardous Blast is something I can cut as well. It really depends on the matchup. In best of 1 you can just, main deck it, because that's your only option. In best of 3 you can you have a little bit more room to decide whether your deck can benefit from it. And of course the opponent's deck really matters. Fine, I'm actually cutting that, and then 1 more card is going to be cut. Do I care about the 1 mana trick here? Kind of want to have some pump spells. This is kind of nice, 1 mana +2/+2, but the oil barely matters. Only if I can target the Engraver that would matter. And that's a lot of 5s, but I'm playing 17 lands. Maybe it's not a big deal. Number of artifacts is 12 still. I really don't want to cut the 1 mana trick. I like it. Can I play 16 lands? I mean, I don't really have ways to dig much into lands. The Engraver is the most reliable way to get to 4 or 5 lands if I'm missing land drops. This thing does Scry for 2, and this, at least kinda digs into a land. If you play this, you will get a land, and if you don't reveal a land, at least you are closer to finding a land in that case. So I suppose there's like a possibility that 16 lands can be correct here, but the mana curve is a little bit higher than I want to be for 16 land decks. A lot of 3s I want to be able to cast on turn 3. And this is so hard. I really like the bodies here. Now that I cut the Hazardous Blast, I really want to have the bodies. It's actually a decent way to push through in the later in the game. And it is also an artifact for the Enforcers. I want these things to always be 4/4s. Equipment are of course very good for that, because these rarely get removed. Okay then. Maybe it is the bodies. But if I cut the bodies, maybe I should not play. Can I play 16 lands and put the Hazardous Blast in the main deck? So if I cut that and put Blast back in, this would be a 16 land deck with only 2 5-drops. Only basically 4 mana cards, but you don't want to cast the Hazardous Blast until you're gonna win with it anyway, unless you can pick up some creatures. Okay, with the Scry thing, with the Engraver, I have ways to dig into lands a little bit. So I guess this is the deck. I'll put the Fair Basilica here, and it's gonna be pretty easily an 8/8 mana base here. So let's add 8 of these guys and 7 more. I haven't really changed the. Okay, maybe I'll change this into something else. Well, shouldn't really use up your guys' time for this, but yeah, I'm gonna choose this, the Dominaria the normal Dominaria planes is pretty nice. All right. Hey, how do I get back? Like so. 7 of these. Alright, that is the main deck. And let's just see the sideboard. These are the sideboard options. Mostly some of the white cards, but I don't know if I'm gonna use them that much. Well, I guess I'll keep it. I have a 2 and 3 drop here. Just don't draw that many lands. I have a 16 land deck here now, so I guess this. Okay, now that I drew this land, there are 10 lands in here. 22 spells. Okay, they have a better 2 drop than I have. It has first strike, so of course I can't block it. Miklos. Well, that's it. That's fair. Yeah, turn 3 Miklos is bit tough. They can make it into a 6/6 by having 2 mana. Now they can make it into an 8/8, so I can't really double block it. There's no removal in my deck that can deal with it. They have a pump spell for the Enforcer. So, I mean, I have the free from flesh. Maybe I would just have to take the damage, but there's no way I'm gonna win the race here. This thing has vigilance though, so I can, you know, have the free from flesh up. Okay, so they're gonna put oil on that thing, so they can. I have no more than 1 artifact. I mean, this is my first artifact, so this can't even be a 4/4. They're gonna block the Lightbringer here, aren't they? So they're just gonna do this. Also, the Miklos can kill my artifacts. Oh, they wanna use their. Okay, maybe they have another one of those, you know, hex gold slashes. Sure. Not much I can do about it. So, Miklos is still the problem. Yeah, it threatens to be an 8/8, so or a 6/6. So if I double block it with the Enforcer and the Lightbringer, I lose both of them, and this still survives. Well, I guess I'll take the damage. I do have a lifelinker here, but they can also choose to kill it by removing 3 of these oil counters. Well, they don't have mana for that, but then again, they have a massive blocker now, so okay, that's it. Miklos really takes over the game, and I sadly don't have a removal for that thing, so I just have to hope they do not draw that. I can maybe try to win with some kind of a splitter. I guess the Masticore is quite good because this is protection from multicolored, which doesn't come up that often, but it comes up against a Miklos. For example, Miklos can't even kill this with the 3 mana ability. One thing I should also remember is that I won't be able to equip the Masticore with the War Whip, because of course you can't equip this thing with multicolored things, because that's how protection works. I don't really have any real idea about any kind of a sideboard ideas. I just need to try to curve out and hope that they don't find a Miklos. Seems very bad if they do. And I have to win this game and the next game, but hey, it's not impossible. Also, let's not have a 5-lander maybe. It's 2-lander, but I can't play my 1-drop, but I suppose I can play most of this stuff, especially if I draw 1 more land. I can play my 1-drop if I choose to, but I won't be doing that. I mean, I could just hope to draw a land on the next turn for the perfect curve out, but I'm happy enough if I do that. So here I will have this will be a 3/2 now on the next turn, so I can play the Justiciar here and hope that they don't have a blocker for it. They might have a removal for it, but I mean, in that case, should I choose differently? No. Let them use one of their slashes. I saw 2 hex gold slashes there, so I'm pretty sure they are gonna just kill the Justiciar now. It's possible they wouldn't have done this if I attack for 2, you know, because I might have a pump spell in response, but I don't know. Volt charge. Okay, so this starts picking oil. So it doesn't matter right now. I'm not going to block it. It will be a 3-3 when it attacks. It could be a 4-3 if they also play something with oil, but I can take the damage. I think I'll just play the Enforcer now. And because I'm not going to block that thing, I'm going to actually attack into that thing now. They might take 2 here. They also don't care about using up my trick. They also knew that it's a free attack, so I most likely will do that, whether I have a trick or not. So it does count itself, so it will be a 3-3, and now it will be a 4-3, so it was a perfect curve for them. Can't say I'm too happy about how this game is going. Proliferating won't benefit me at all. Still going to... And of course I don't have the... Yeah, you see the Enforcer in action. My deck has what, 12 artifacts. Well, I lost one. But this still is just a 2-4. Really miserable. Anyway, let's kill this guy and play the Duelist, I guess. At least they don't have a Miklos. Sadly, they might not need it. My deck isn't, by the way, that great. But of course, the opponent's deck and both the deck and the curve out they're having, they are pretty good. So it's tough to beat that kind of stuff, but at least they couldn't attack there. Okay, I have this, so do I wanna... I wanna have access to 5 lands, so I'm gonna play the land and then start using the Engraver for my further lands. There is no attack for me. There is no attack, sadly. With 2 artifacts I could equip the Enforcer, it would be a 4-5, and these things wouldn't be able to kill it even with a double block. But I don't have the 2 artifacts, and there is the Miklos. I won't be having 2 artifacts because they can burn my first one. Alright. Yeah, it can kill the reservoir, because the reservoir can just keep, you know, pumping the Miklos here. I have to do that. So I'm gonna sack the Crawling Chorus here, which will make them Enforcer into a bigger guy, but I can't attack with it because they do have a Miklos. It threatens to be, you know... Because now I do have 1, 2, 3 artifacts, so they can blow up one of them. So they can't make this into a 2-power creature, but the problem is they can still make the Miklos into a 6-6. So I can't attack into it. That's just how it goes. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm losing 2 games to Miklos now. If I'm losing this, I guess I can still win with Hazardous Blast. So let's... Okay. They are gonna go for that. Is that lethal? These are 4 power, this is 6. This is almost... It's 14, isn't it? No, it is... No, I was... These were of course 5 power because they count itself, which I said earlier. So yeah, that was it. Pretty fast match. Don't think I had... I mean, if this matchup repeats many times, even if they don't draw the Miklos, their deck seemed so much better than mine that I don't think I was the favorite ever to win there. Well, I would do win the die rolls here, but I'm now missing my 1 and 2 drops. I have plenty of them. I'm still keeping it because I do have the Custodian, and I can play the Flesh Cutter on turn 2. That's at least 2 mana I can use. So this won't be 5 mana to play and equip later in the game. I can just find a spot where I do have the 3 mana up. And with this Scry 2 I do get to, you know, dig into lands, because of course I do want to cast the Severed Synthesizer. Actually, it's Ward 2. It will become a 5-3. Okay, let's try this. I don't have to equip it on the next turn, but if they, you know, tap out, it might be a pretty safe thing to do. Depends on what they tap out for. third color. Okay, that's not doing much. I don't have to worry about this as long as I have the volt charge in here. So this is ward 2, so they can't respond in any meaningful way. So what they can do, I guess they can have like a blazing crescendo, or they can. Oh no, it's more likely they have the the thing that says it gets death touch and indestructible. I still think it's worth it because they can't kill this in response because of the ward 2. And I will still get my. Did I say 5-3? It was of course 6-3 because this equipment gives +2. So I at least got this 1-1. So let's say, okay, but they didn't have anything. So this was the perfect outcome. Now if they can't even bounce it with this thing, it would require 5 mana. They can do it on the next turn, but that will take the entire turn. And now with the volt charge and the crescendo, okay, that is, well, I can just kill the retrofitter now. So I don't have to worry about, yeah, any proliferate stuff. Doesn't matter. I'll play the Chorus post-combat, then kill this guy. So I'm no longer gonna kill the synthesizer, but doesn't really matter. So now I can attack for another 6. They go down to 8 unless they're gonna jump block. The Shepherd will come after 1 land, and I still have stuff to play. Okay, well this definitely looks a lot better than either of the games in the first match. So now, yeah, the Flesh Cutter can become pretty annoying for the opponent when you get a wide board like this. And of course this contributes to getting the white board. Thrumming Bird isn't really going to do much. It's just a 2 mana 1-1 here. Okay, so they're gonna tap out for that thing as well, so pretty easy stuff now. I have the Crescendo, so I can just attack with everything. Because I will win if they don't block the Lightbringer. It's a safe pump effect, so let's just attack with everything. They have to jump block the Lightbringer. And if they jump that, I can then kill the synthesizer. This is now 7, let's make it 8. Actually, let's make it 10. 7 plus 3 is 10, not 8. Alright. So that was 3 colors, but did I see anything else than blue? No, I did not. So one of these might be just a splash. They have a 1-3, they have a Thrumming Bird, Retrofitter. I have a couple of removal spells for the Retrofitter in these Volt Charges. Do I want to have more pump spells? Blast is gonna be good. Mostly because I don't expect them to be an aggressor unless they get a turn 3 Retrofitter that can make an earlier artifact into a 4-4. They have potentially some defensive plays like the 1-3s. Yeah, the Blast could be useful. The Blast just kills the Thrumming Bird as well. Again, I don't think I have enough information to make any sideboarding choices. I like the main deck as is. And this time it's a Mono Mountain starting hand. This would be a keep if one of these was a plains. But yeah, missing a 2-drop with these 2 mana plays available is not great. I know I could keep this hand thinking that if I just draw a land in 3 turns, I can at least cast a Custodian, which helps me fix my mana better. But I should go to 6 here. Going to 6 is a very different thing than going to 5. And this is already a lot better hand. It is something I have to, of course, lose something from here. I think it might just be the Engraver because I don't like losing a land now. I want to make sure I have the 2-drop, 3-drop plan. The 1-3 shall go. Okay, well now I'm a lot more happy about the fact I didn't cut a land there. Okay, blue red, okay, thrumming bird again. Let's see if they can get any proliferating happen if they play something with oil, for instance. Okay, well that's a triple colors right away. That is so unfair. I really liked where I was, but because now the problem is that the Punisher isn't even a good play. It trades with the edifice, so I think I just have to, you know, play these and block the edifice. Yeah, I was really looking to attack with the 3 power lifelinker. I mean, I don't mind trading with their 3-drop, but they just got to kill it for free almost. Well, 2 life. 2 life was the cost, and now they're gonna make this into a 4-4. Well, like I said, I don't fear them being the aggressor unless they get the retrofitter early in the game, which they did. So might have to go to game 3, but although the Masticore can be played, but I have to start discarding cards. But well, I mean, let's just first. I mean, they're never gonna block with the retrofitter. But I suppose then I just play the Punisher and block the... Yeah, fine. But if they do block with the retrofitter, that would be so great. Because I would kill the thrumming bird and finish off the retrofitter, bringing back the edifice to a 3-2. Well, so I can still on the next turn get a 5-5 first striker. But at the cost is I will have to keep discarding and stuff. I guess I can just discard the Hazardous Blast to kill the retrofitter. I take 5 now. They still don't get any proliferating advantage there, unless they now play something like a, what's the thing, the instant that gives me a poison counter and draws a card. Anatomist. More proliferating without anything to proliferate. Okay. So I have to now count on the Masticore doing its thing. I could attack with this guy though, it's double, it has menace. Yeah, I should do that. I'm of course willing to trade with the retrofitter here. Okay, so now I will start discarding stuff. I might discard this or just a land. This will kill any non-land permanent with mana value 4 or less. So, but let's first see if they have a removal spell. Of course they can have a removal spell on it. So we'll see if that's happening. If they have, I am almost dead. I would go to 2, I think, if they attack with everything. They have a Skull Bomb. Alright, well, I go to... Yeah, I'm basically dead now. The Hazardous Blast won't do any miracles here. I haven't been able to deal enough damage here. So I block a 2 power creature going down to... Yeah, 2. Well. So I'm not dead to the flyer. Well, I mean, I guess I'll play this thing then. And won't attack with everything, because if I do, I would die. So I go down to 1 now. And if they don't have any interaction, that's all they can do. But of course they do have 3 cards in hand and the Surgical Bay to draw more cards. If this goes to game 3, maybe they don't get the, you know, all the colors early in the game. I haven't seen any red yet though. So they have at least the edifice as either a splash or a main deck color. The problem is that I have to kill the thrumming bird regardless here. Sadly, I don't get any value for the blast. I have to decide on the discard now. So I would have preferred to discard the Hazardous Blast to kill something else than the thrumming bird. This is actually 10 damage, so I'm very close to dealing lethal. But alas, 10 is not 13. I mean, I can just cast this thing to kill the thrumming bird. But if I draw some spell, then I won't be able to cast that. I think I'll just have to. Because I can't do an all-out attack here. I will deal 10, they won't die. Unless I get one of my pump spells. Oh, but then, Yeah, I suppose there's exactly one, the +3/+1. I would have to draw exactly that. I'm not going to do that. So this is going to be discarded. At least now we'll see if this actually works or not. Okay, so if it was bugged... But I drew the one out there for exactly lethal if because I would have discarded the planes and I would have played the planes. That was 6 mana to have lethal unless they have something for 2 mana. But it was 1 out of 28, so counting on that was maybe not the... It was more likely that I draw like a 3 or 4 mana card, so that if I don't discard this, I have to cast anyway, and then I can't, of course, do anything. With the other spell because I don't have mana for that. But now just yeah. So if if it was a desperate situation where I knew I'm gonna lose on the next turn, I would have to go for it. Hope to draw this one exact card. But now that it was a situation where I could have just killed the 1/1. I did draw the one outer, but it doesn't help because I already had discarded that thing. Okay, another retrofitter. Doesn't actually do anything. They have no other artifacts there. Now they can attack with everything. It doesn't help. So I can now kill something. Well, only the Seer. So let's discard a land here and hope to draw a spell because next turn they have a lethal attack. That is a spell. But it's really a standoff, and now that I have lost my blast, it's just I don't know how I'm gonna win because they have the scries here too. They're gonna dig into more things, and me being at 1 life means I have to be extremely defensive here. I know I could have not played this, but to actually kill something. Problem with that is of course that then I have 3 blockers to therefore attackers. So well. Let's see now what I draw, and then I think I'm going to lose. Yep, can't deal with the flyer. Right. I mean, was it a desperate enough of a situation that I had to hope that I draw the 1 card in 28? I don't know. Let's think about it. Do I want to play something like a plated onslaught? It can be maybe good. I mean, here it would have been good if I did go to 1 life. It will be also cheap to cast here. It's not a 5 mana spell in this deck. It's gonna be easily a 3 mana spell. Do I need that kind of stuff? So what is the least useful card if I don't? I guess the Engraver is not really doing what I wanted to do. I mean, I don't need the 1/3 part, that's the thing. They can block 1/3 very easily, and maybe I just hope that I draw, the correct mana curve so I don't have to put away cards from my hand. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go for it. I'm gonna cut the Engraver and play the Plated Onslaught. Don't know if that's making sense, but at least I'm gonna try the card. I haven't really played the Plated Onslaught much, but in this kind of deck it can maybe work. In this matchup, I mean. Alright, so this is a decent hand here, and the Shepherd is a very good card with the Onslaught. I'm pretty happy to have both of them here, and Enforcer will also get a couple of artifacts from the Shepherd. And there's even a 3-drop, so this might be actually a very nice 2, 3, 4, 5 into an Onslaught on turn 6. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves or how the saying goes. Okay, they have nothing yet. Do they let me to scry? And they get to scry once. Wow. I mean, I'm gonna take the Volt Charge, but I'm not going to take the Flesh Cutter because I do need the lands here. But the Volt Charge is too good to pass up. So I'm willing to miss my land drop here. Because this is actually 5 damage here, so if they play like a 1 creature there that I can just kill, they go to 12. Although I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the Volt Charge. I might use... Well, let's see what they do. Okay, they of course perfect mana, and of course they got... don't like that at all. Okay, well, I'm gonna trade with it. I can trade this guy with it. So, it's an artifact. And then I can attack for 3, but that was... that just... At least they had to pay 2 life, which can matter in this game, looking at my hand here, but I would have preferred to not lose the guy. Anyway, my curve is here. I mean, maybe not curve anymore, but my hand is really decent here. They have a Kaido, but they have nothing to... So they can say my creature won't attack or block. And they go to 4 loyalty, so I can't kill it. I need a land. Okay, I got the land. So next turn one of these will be able to attack. And they won't be able to double use this unless they have like a haster of some kind. Okay, so the Kaido is... okay, they had the blue-red uncommon, right? That's at least 1 red card in their deck. So... They can make a 2/2 Death Toucher, but then I can kill it. Okay, they didn't want to make that. And now they have 5 mana sadly here. And they have it. Well, at least they won't be tapping it to proliferate. I guess I'll just need a land here too. I can't play the lookout and move this equipment and then kill the anatomist. Do I actually have to? Well, I'm gonna have to play this thing, and I just use the Volt Charge on their turn. I mean, I have to use all my mana here. Yeah, I mean, am I losing the Planeswalker right now? Because I had a good game plan, but this thing really can get out of hand, and the 2/5 here being perfect. Yeah, I mean, all it comes down to this edifice killing my guy for free. That gave them enough, you know. That gave them, you know, enough tempo to actually... Okay, let me see. Let's kill it right now. Please don't respond with a spell that can save it. Okay. Yeah, they got enough tempo that the Planeswalker was something I couldn't just kill by attacking, because I lost the extra guy there. Okay, now with the Plated Onslaught, I really don't want to use it now. But because it's so good with the Basilica Shepherd. But if I attack with the Enforcer on the Kaido, I can only trade with them. A Retrofitter here. That's the bad part. But this is so good when I have the Might here. I don't have to attack with the Enforcer, I can just attack for 1 here. Because I can't even equip this thing because I want to use this mana for my Shepherd now. I don't know though, I can do some... Maybe the Shepherd isn't needed right now. I mean, if I attack with everything like this, they might just block the 2/5 with the on the 3/2 and then the 2/3 on the 3/2 and the 2/5 on this thing. I'm actually gonna do this. I hope that they block, they try to trade the retrofitter with the custodian and block the enforcer with the anatomist. And then my bladed onslaught will, you know, make it so that I don't lose anything. Oh, but they of course have instant stuff there. Okay, non-token creature will be sacrificed here now. Well, that's going to happen. I do want to finish off the Kaito, and the lookout will take care of it. So I guess I'm gonna sacrifice this custodian, and at least I will be able to, you know, my enforcer will survive, and I get to kill the anatomist here. And Kaito goes away. That was the important thing. Now, sadly, I did lose my... Should I equip it? It's gonna be a 1 toughness. Do they have more than one of these guys? Guess I hope they don't. I wanna use the mana here anyway, because I might not draw the mana on the next turn, and I want to cast the Shepherd on the next turn anyway. What was I saying? I don't know. Yeah, I don't have the onslaught with the Shepherd, which, you know, makes the onslaught worse. But I mean the Shepherd. It's still a good card, of course, in this situation. They need to get to deal with my flyers here. But I mean, this would be so good with the Shepherd. That's basically, you know, 5, 8. It's 11 damage. It's 11 damage with the Shepherd alone. Oh, come on, opponent. So my ends for... Okay, whatever. Just steal my guy, fine. I can still win, because this is only a 2-4 for them, and they have to deal with the flyer. So as long as they don't have a kill spell or a flying blocker, I'm still gonna win the race here. Yeah, I mean, I could block here. I'm not gonna risk it. I have to take the 4 damage and 1 poison here, and hope they don't have the blue-red uncommon here. Another retrofitter that doesn't do anything. Okay, okay. That's gonna help me win 1 turn faster. And I can take the 6 here. I might actually have to... I could attack with the mites and, you know, actually trade with the enforcer, but I like the idea to... No, they at least attack. They have a trick of some kind, yeah. I believe I'm gonna go for the Crescendo right now. Oh, they actually did that before blockers. Oh man, that's so great for me. Let's save it. Just a land there, but at least I deal 7. And that's exactly gonna be lethal on the next. So they do need to top deck something now. They need to top deck something now. I have a lethal attack in the air. Land and I win. Ground creature and I win. I already dealt with the Kaito and the Blue Sun's Twilight. At least it wasn't x equals 5 or more, so they only stole my guy. They didn't get a copy. But did you draw the... That was a top decked thing. What did they top deck? An answer. An answer, of course. One that also gives them a redraw. Well, I suppose if they bounce the Shepherd, I get more 1/1s here. And I have to start blocking here, but of course I can do that. Masticore. So if I attack with everything, they go to 2. That's not enough. So let's attack with this Vigilant guy. And then I do need to block the stuff. I mean, this can be blocked. I should play the Shepherd instead. Also to get the 1/1s. But I have to block with the Shepherd, and I might have to block with the Lookout if I don't want to go to 2. Not gonna move the equipment. But yeah, they have now 2 fresh cards. Man, this Skull Bomb was a good one. That was a good one. But again, if they have like a land and a ground creature, I win. I'm forced to do the block, so they can attack with everything. Of course, I will block. And the question is, am I gonna jump with the lookout? Only this thing I has a vigilance, so okay. Theorist says that draw a discard. Okay, so they get yet another draw here to find something. They have 3 mana, all the colors, and 1 card in hand. Okay, they discarded the Kethek. Well, that wasn't gonna do anything. As that's not gonna do anything either. Okay, fine. Finally, I won this game. I beat a couple of annoying rares, but alright. So let's just... They have no flyers there. There's no point attacking with the mites because they have enough blockers, but that was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. But again, the it all started, you know, my curve was great, but when they played the Edifice and then the Kaito, things started looking bad. I got rid of the Kaito, and then they played the Blue Sun's Twilight, stealing my guy, and well, maybe it was at least an exciting game, and even better when the outcome is still a victory. Okay, I get to start with my 1-drop here. I'm on the draw here, but okay, I have both of my enforcers. Don't have any equipment yet. This can of course just die, so this won't necessarily be 4/4s. I wonder if I can just play the Basilica on the next turn, or do I want to have mana for the Free from Flesh? Depends on that 2-drop for sure. Okay, well, now it's quite easy. I mean, I guess I could still leave mana for the Free from Flesh, but since they don't play any creature, this is of course exactly what I want to happen here. So do they have a 3-drop? And body these. Okay, another one with 3 basic lands on turn 3. Aha. Well, I get to scry 1. Let's see what it is. If it is a land, I might wanna have it. They scry the top. Yep, take action. I mean the enforcers. I kinda like them. It would be annoying to not draw the 4th land if I put this to the bottom, but of course it would be very annoying to immediately after this plains draw the 5th land, but I mean I have to, I guess, get the land here. Now am I gonna kill this guy with the Free from Flesh? It's a pretty annoying thing, can contribute to block the enforcer. I guess it's good turn to do that. Whatever, let's do it. Maybe they don't block. I mean, of course they're gonna block. This is gonna deal poison. No one wants to get dealt poison. But anyway, I have nothing else for this turn, so I might as well do this right now. Besides, if I draw the 5th land, I do have the Fair Basilica here, so I can crack it for more spells, hopefully. What? It was actually 4 basics on turn 4, but at least they have the kind of tools to, you know, get their different colors. But oh, by the way, they have a 36 card left at this point. Okay, so they are playing, you know, a lot more than 40 cards. 1 in the grave, 4 in the... Okay, I'm not gonna count it right now. But yeah, they're playing a ton of cards in the deck. And a ton of colors. Now let's see if they start dropping some 6-drops nonsense, and the Hazardous Blast isn't gonna be lethal yet. Definitely not. Okay, they're playing nothing. Oh, I'm very scared now. I mean, I will attack. I can't make this into a 4/4 right now. So let's see what they have. So that's... Vraska's Fall. I will sacrifice a thing. Yes, I will sacrifice a Crawling Chorus. That actually makes the Enforcer into a 4/4. That's pretty funny. But there's in fact more damage I'm gonna deal now. I was dealing 4, now I'm dealing 5. And they cracked that. Alright. Okay then. This is not hard yet, but they might have a mass removal still. Another planes and a couple of different white mass removal options become a thing, but of course this is now almost lethal. This is 10 damage with a Zardos Blast if my artifacts survive. Spawning. Alright, alright. It's actually unable to block the 4-force. Yeah, I'm just going to, I guess, empty my hand here. Well, I can't empty my hand, but I was supposed to play the Batterfist pre-combat because this might become 2-force in mid-combat, but I don't know. I mean, I definitely should have done that, but... Alright, so am I gonna play around them dropping a planes and one of the 2 mass removal options in the set? Both require double white. The Emperor Planeswalker and of course the White Sun's Twilight. I'm gonna go for it. It's so unlikely that they're gonna find the second white. I mean, assuming they even have it. Okay, so I'm actually paying for this. I'm not gonna let it get countered and because the reasonable thing. Okay, opponent, that's not how you are supposed to do this. Reasonable thing is to leave a creature in my hand anyway, just in case they actually have the mass removal spell. Alright, so did I learn something? Well, don't know if I want to necessarily sideboard or anything. I don't think so. I'm just gonna use the same deck. They play a bit too many cards and too many colors to make the deck consistent. I'm pretty sure they really didn't do much in the early game there. Well, I mean, I guess I'll keep with the Custodian here. One of these being a mountain would definitely help, but whatever. So they have 46 card deck. Okay, well there's the mountain. I guess 5th land wasn't optimal, but I needed the red at some point anyway. And this Cry 2 will help a little bit. Dungur, okay. Well, they are still missing a color after this, but who knows, maybe. Oh, they actually just Oh, by the way, am I gonna block this guy if it attacks? I think I am, so I might as well kill it like this. Yeah, they got an island, so maybe they just have the other stuff. Maybe they sideboarded them out. Custodian. I really don't want to draw any more lands, so I'm gonna play this. They might have the counter spell, of course, but well, then they have the counter spell. I prefer maybe the Custodian to get countered anyway, because these equipment are better for my enforcers. Now, the Fair Basilica is unnecessary. Yeah, I can sack it for a land, but I might also, for a new card I mean, but of course I might just put it on the bottom and just draw a fresh card. Of course the War Whip is quite good. So did they sideboard out a color or coral colors, or do they just need the double blue here for something? Time will tell. They scry the bottom, okay. Okay, there's one of the colors. They still are missing black, based on what I saw in the first game. Cat is killing that, sure. Well, now I can play the War Whip when they don't have mana up for a counter spell. And, well, hopefully they tap out. Well, they do not. Which means I'm not gonna at least equip the Flesh Cutter. I'm just gonna play the Punisher and the Flesh Cutter. Let's see if they wanna do something about the Double Striker. This is definitely not a, tough game at all. Which one do I want to get countered? Guess I like the Menace guy a little bit more. The Flesh Cutter is actually quite good here, but they didn't have the counter earlier. Yeah, I really like it actually in this situation. Okay, they had that counter. Yeah, alright. That is a lot of counter spells for them. And that's why they needed the double blue. But hey, they got the plains and swamp anyway, so why not? Okay, well, I still have mana for the helm. Although I should play it pre-combat, because if they have the other counter, now I have mana to actually pay the tax. And then I'm gonna equip. Okay, they make me do that. So then I'm gonna equip the other guy. Here. Oh yeah, okay, all the equip costs are now a little bit cheaper thanks to the war whip saying that. Okay, do I get to attack to get 1/1/1 might here? I mean, if they have something, they're gonna use it anyway, so I might as well equip this because there's nothing else for mana this turn. Vraskas Fall. Yeah, wow. Because if I went to combat there, they just won't be. I mean, they're still gonna, use the Vraskas Fall before I get my token. But I guess that was now enough interaction for them. Duress, well, my blast goes away. It's a 1 for 1. The blast wasn't really doing much here. If I get a creature to stick and attack with this equipment, will be very good. But oh my, that was so good for them. Have they played a white spell in this deck? In this game, I mean, no. So the plains is at least. They have needed the double blue. They have needed the black. They needed the green too. So that was the last card in their hand, Vivisearcher's Insight. And now they get to spam those tokens. Let's hope this is actually going to work. Yeah. I mean, I want to just attack once so that I can have these mites that, are able to be equipped as well. That's the entire point. But if they just keep having interaction... Oh my, Atraxa. Oh man, that's so funny. I understand now why they do play those exact 4 colors. Well, I guess I'll soon see what they keep there. I won't bother going through that list of cards. I will see what they keep there. So yeah, I get to attack now. And they actually don't get to block. I mean, they get to, but they would lose the attraction. But of course this has lifelink, so they have a cultivator, another expand sphere. Now I guess these aren't even that. So if I would just have some kind of removal for this thing, but I don't, of course. So this is miserable. Well, it might go to game 3. I mean, it most likely does, because they have a 3-turn clock and they gain 7 life per turn cycle, and they can jump block these double strikers. So I don't actually think I have a chance here, but I don't remember what exactly I can draw here. I can't also attack with anything else than the one that has double strike, because this thing has vigilance, so it will always be around to block. It will always be around to block and gaining 7 life if it does block. So maybe I have my pump spell, that +3/+1 is still up. And I have more equipment, of course. I can give another +2/+0, but then again I don't have trample, so any jump block is gonna be horrible. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to deal with the Atraxa, but I mean, I'm not gonna concede here. They are playing pretty slow, but I guess they just want to make sure they don't make any. Yeah, sure, jeez. Okay, now I'm allowed to concede. I'm allowed to concede now, so... Well, I'm happy they're playing 46 cards, because that means it's less likely to draw the chase. Anything... So they have a bunch of these Vraskas Falls. I mean, do they have more removal? Because the more removal the opponent has, the less good stuff like Hazardous Blast and the Bladed Onslaught will be. But then again, I'm not sure if they have like a ton of Raskas Falls. But maybe I don't need stuff like Plated Onslaught. I'll just keep the same deck, and maybe they don't actually draw all their colors. They do after all play 4 different kind of basic lands, so they can't get them all always. At least I have actually a pretty nice hand if this just finds the few lands it needs. I guess a 3rd for this thing, and then of course 4th for this thing. Okay, that's very good now. So I can go for a pretty nice curve out here. Yeah, this is exactly perfect. I'm not playing the artifact on this turn. I want to play my 3-drop. So this is nice. On the play 1, 2, 3. They don't have the blue mana yet. Do they have the black mana for a Frasca's Fall? This can tap. Okay, they have 1. And out of these... I still think it's gonna be the lockout, because it only deals 1 damage per turn. And I do have the 2nd artifact for the next turn anyway. But yeah, this is the only... They only got 1 color mana use of this thing, because it only adds any color on the turn it entered the battlefield. So they still missed the blue, and now they again missed the black. Infectious Bite. Okay, so much of making the Enforcer into a... Well, I guess I will make it into a 4/4 on the next turn then, but I guess a 2/4 is pretty decent still. Given that they have only 11 and they're going to go to 6, and I have a Volt Charge in here. Both of us get to scry a little bit. Well, I guess the Blast is now pretty easy to keep. I don't think I need the Blast, because the Volt Charge in the face is supposed to be enough here. Well, yeah, game is over. Now this looks at top 6, so it takes any lands, not just basic lands. Alright, so let's just do this thing for the win. They still have priority because they can add an oil counter on the cultivator, but game is over. So I did lose a game in this final match. But of course Atraxa, and they had the interaction there. I mean, well, maybe I drew a few more lands there than I would have liked to, but it wasn't like a massive flood or anything. It was somewhat normal still. A 2-1 result is still, pretty much to be expected. This deck was very far from a strong one. I really struggled in the draft to find the open lane. I had, I had blue cards. I had green here. I refused to pick any black cards there. Maybe I was supposed to maybe even stay open to that idea, because I got some very nice black cards. For instance, in pack 2, when there were 2 cards left in the pack, there was the Edifice, the 3-drop, very strong black uncommon left there. So a red-white deck usually is a little bit better than this, but I got to play with the Enforcer, and sadly this wasn't often enough for 4, so I can't really... And this deck has, 11 artifacts. Almost half all the cards are artifacts. I think you just need to have more, equipment like the Barbed Batterfist, which just, stay on the battlefield, enhancing this thing. Artifact creatures are not that reliable in, making the Enforcer a big size creature. But yeah, in the end, I have to be happy about the 2-1 result, because deck wasn't really that good. Claim the prize here, and I will see you in the next video then. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.